What's up, everybody? Eric Solbox out in the shop today working on the old Husqvarna 701 Enduro. Man, I love this motorcycle. So I had a flat tire, and turns out, look at my rim band, it was all chewed up. I think the last ride, I think it was actually flat for quite a ways, and I didn't realize it. These Tusk tires are actually, I forget what model it is. This is a fairly new tire. These are the, I can't read that, my old ass eyes. These are the Waypoints, and they're actually designed, I think, for heavier dual sport bikes. And so the 701, I think really to get good traction out of this, I think you really need to run the PSI pretty low, because the carcass of this is really designed for a heavier bike. They're like, right now I've got 12 pounds in that and it doesn't want to flex at all. So anyway, I did a pretty long ride, I think, with that flat and didn't even know it. The carcass of this tire is so firm. So I'm testing out, or got to test out yesterday. I ordered up one of these off of the Amazon. This is a little portable pump that has a battery in it, and I liked it really well. Like, you know, it took like no battery power to fill up that tire. The one thing about this that I don't like is that the buttons sit proud of the body, and so it's got this light, and I'm afraid that, you know, I'm going to go to use it. I'm going to carry this on the bike with me, and I'll go to use it, and the battery's going to be dead. I did discover that this thing, if I want to carry it separate, I can pull it off, and that way I don't turn it on by accident. But then what if I lose this, right? But apart from that, this is really cool. You can set the what you want in the way of a pressure, and it'll pump up straight to that, and it does it fairly quickly. It's actually pretty cool. Nice little piece of kit. So and it's fairly small, and it'll probably be pretty easy to travel with. So anyway, little tip for if you want to know the best tip going for changing tires. Like, I can do one of these like in 15-20 minutes, literally. The number one tip is you have to understand how the well of the rim works. You want to keep the tire pressed inside that well, which gives you the extra room to be able to spoon it on. And the best tip I can give you for that is, I keep these, this is part of my kit that goes with me on the bike all the time, is these smaller sockets. And what you do is you put these little sockets in between the tire and the rim, and you space them out. You put like 2 or 3 of them, and that forces the tire down into the well and just makes spooning just an absolute breeze. And that's the one thing, if you're new to spooning tires, that's kind of part of the learning curve. Like, once you get really good at it, it's really no hassle at all, but it can be a real struggle if you don't know what you're doing. I only use 2 tire irons when I do it, and they're these short little stubby Motion Pros. Literally, this is all you need if you keep the tire inside the well. And the best way to do it is just a couple of small sockets around the outside, just forcing it into the place where you need it, and then they spoon really easy. So anyway, what else is going on? You see I'm minus a leg on the front here, and that is because I'm getting ready to put some fork oil. This bike, when I got it used, one of them was just weeping. And if you don't know the little trick about, you know, I've never changed. I've been riding since I was 5 years old. 50 years I've been riding this year, and I've never changed a fork seal. And the reason being is that you take a soda pop bottle and you make yourself that little hook tool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just a piece of thin plastic. You slide it up in there, it's got a hook. You spin it around and you pull the debris back out. But either way, I don't know how long this was weeping before I bought the bike, so I have no idea what's in there. But I've never changed a fork seal. I've never had to. I've always been able to fix it with the little tool. Just get the debris out of there. It seals right back up. So little tip there too. So it'll be interesting to jump into this and see what exactly is in there. This is a 4CS fork that's on that bike, and they're known to be, they're just really not that great of a fork. And the problem I have with it is that what I really want for the fork to be able to pick up well is just chop, right? Like square edge bumps and stuff. Like Discovery Route is what I want to do with this. square edges, that the initial part of the stroke is really harsh with these. And I thought, you know what, instead of the 5 weight that they normally come in, I'll put a 3 weight in it and maybe I could fix that. But I read something online that said that it would actually probably make it worse. And so I ended up canceling my first order for 3 weight fork oil and went ahead and just bought the Maxima 5 weight. So I'm just going to put in it exactly what it's supposed to have. Hopefully it's better than what it's been. The bike's a 2016 and it's probably never been done. Like I said, one of the legs was weeping when I got it. So I'm hoping that maybe putting fresh oil in this is maybe going to give me a little bit better suspension. I want that initial part of the travel to be really plush. I'm not worried about, you know, bottoming it out. I'm not going to be out jumping this bike. Well, that's a lie. I will be out jumping this bike, but I'm not worried nearly as much about bottoming as what I am about having that initial plushness. That's really what I want out of it. And it's honestly part of why I would like to buy the newer model of this bike. It's got a better fork and it's got a motor that's got twin balancers in the motor, which supposedly is supposed to take a pretty dramatic amount of the vibration out of the engine, which would be nice. Although I will say this one has a sweet spot at about 60-65. It starts to smooth out again. And so for highway riding, it's really not that bad. So I'll probably just continue to, what I hate to do is continue to throw parts at this. Like I want to get the auxiliary tank for the front of it. And I'm thinking about getting the Raid Garage fairing for it also. I mean, there's $2,000 worth of parts. Do I really want to put those on a bike that I'm not necessarily 100% completely happy with? This just has so much stuff on it that, like, there's one for sale. There's a used bike for sale, like sort of local to me at a shop. And I could go and buy that bike. It's the newer model 701. And I could maybe transfer some of the stuff off of this. Maybe I could work it out to put on that bike if I traded this one in. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've got first world problems, right? So I think the bottom line is I'm probably just going to stick with this. This bike had 4,000 miles on it, and I got it for super cheap, like half of what it was retailed at when it was new. So it's got a lot of life left in it, and I think I'll probably just deal with the buzziness. The one benefit that most people don't talk about this engine compared to the newer one is that this engine actually has its torque a lot lower in the RPM range. And so maybe I wouldn't like that motor off-road quite as much as I like this one anyway. So, you know, I'm probably better off. I should probably just enjoy riding this bike the way that it is. And, you know, maybe I'll get the newer model after, you know, I rack up some miles on this. But it's just coming up on 5,000 miles right now. And so basically, it's barely even broken in. It's not even time for the first valve check yet. Or I think, well, actually, I think when you do the break-in, you're supposed to do an early oil change, which it probably got. And I've done an oil change on it. I'm not going to change it at the interval that they call for, which is like 6,000 miles. I'll change it more like at about probably 2,000 or 3,000. But anyway, so I'm going to get back to work. I'll let you guys go. Just wanted to give you a little update on what was going on out here in the shop. And you can see I'm not working on boxes today. Although I did sell a set of G3 side cases yesterday. It's the first set of the season. So, and they're already gone. I assembled the first set and got them out of here. So anyway, Eric Solobox, I will talk to you all later.